Miami's night erupted in a storm, rain slashing through the neon haze like a blade. Keisha Brown, a 28-year-old black waitress, wove through the chaos outside Neon Wave Hotel, her sneakers slapping wet pavement. In the alley's glow, a man lay sprawled, his tailored suit ruined, face ashen under stuttering lights. The crowd jeered, phones blazing, their laughter a cruel chorus against the thunder. "Loser," one spat. Keisha's pulse raced. She knelt, finding a hotel keycard in his pocket. Ethan Caldwell, Suite 1701, Neon Wave. Ignoring taunts, she called a cab, paid with her last tip, and hauled him inside, half dragging him to the elevator. In Suite 1701, she eased him onto the couch, his whiskey-soaked mumble, "Too kind," fading. A shadow stirred outside the door, boots scraping. "You're in over your head, girl," a voice rasped, sharp as glass. Keisha spun, heart hammering, but the neon-lit hall yawned empty, its buzz mocking her fear. The neon hum of Miami's streets faded as Keisha Brown slumped into a plastic chair in the Neon Waves break room, her sneakers still damp from last night's storm. The memory of that voice, "You're in over your head, girl," clung to her like the city's humidity, sharp and unsettling. She rubbed her temples, trying to shake the image of the man she dragged to Suite 1701, his whiskey-slurred gratitude echoing in her mind. At 28, Keisha had seen enough of Miami's glitter and grit to know trouble when it whispered, but she couldn't place this one, not yet. The break room's flickering bulb cast shadows over her apron, stained with coffee and dreams deferred. Keisha had grown up in Overtown, a black neighborhood chewed up by developers, where her mama, Loretta, had raised her on stories of ancestors who'd fought for freedom. Loretta's voice, worn but fierce, still rang in her ears. "Hold your head high, baby. Ain't no shame in honest work." But honest work hadn't saved Loretta from losing her job in a data breach years ago, a wound that left her spirit bruised. Keisha's dream was to open a coffee shop, a place for poets and dreamers, to honor her mama's resilience. Neon Wave, with its peeling wallpaper and tired chandeliers, was just a stepping stone, or so she thought.
"Yo, okay? You good?" Jaden Spark Lopez burst in, his phone already filming, his grin a burst of sunlight. At 22, Jaden was a TikTok star with 2 million followers, his videos of Miami street art and dance battles a love letter to the city's soul. But beneath the charisma, he carried scars. Big Tech had once shadow banned his content for calling out gentrification. "You look like you saw ghosts last night," he teased, zooming in. Keisha swatted his phone, laughing despite herself. "Put that away, Spark. Ain't no story here." But Jaden's eyes narrowed, sensing her unease. "Spill it, sis." She told him about the man, the keycard, the cab, and that voice in the hallway. Jaden's grin faded. "Suite 1701? That's high roller territory. You sure he wasn't some cartel dude?" Keisha shook her head, but doubt gnawed at her. The man's face, pale, sharp, almost familiar, felt like a puzzle piece she couldn't place. Jaden scrolled his phone, muttering about shady rich folks, when the break room door creaked open. A man in a crisp suit stood there, his gray eyes locking onto Keisha. The room stilled, the air thick with recognition. It was him, Ethan Caldwell, the man from the alley, now sober and radiating quiet power. His voice was low, steady. "Keisha Brown, right? I owe you." Her throat tightened, the keycard's weight still heavy in her memory. Ethan stepped forward, sliding a folder across the table. "I own Neon Wave," he said, "and I'm giving it to you." Keisha blinked, her heart stuttering. "What?" Jaden's phone dropped, his jaw with it. Ethan's gaze didn't waver. "You showed me kindness when no one else did. This place needs someone like you, someone who cares. It's yours, if you'll take it." The folder held a contract, the ink gleaming like a dare. Keisha's fingers hovered, her mama's words echoing, "Hold your head high." But the voice from last night hissed in her mind, a warning she couldn't ignore. Across town, in a glass tower, Serena Voss, CEO of Zest Corp, stared at a screen tracking Neon Wave's deed transfer. Her lips curled, her manicured nails tapping. "Ethan's playing hero again," she muttered. Serena, 35, had clawed her way to power, her past tied to Ethan's secrets she'd sworn to bury. Neon Wave was her next target, a stepping stone to a soulless AI hub. Keisha Brown, a nobody waitress, was now in her way. Serena's eyes glinted. Let's see how long she lasts. Back at Neon Wave, Keisha clutched the contract, her breath uneven. Jaden whooped, already planning TikTok videos, but Keisha's gaze drifted to the lobby's neon sign, its flicker like a heartbeat. Something big was coming. She felt it in her bones. Was this a blessing or a trap?
The neon sign above Neon Wave flickered like a pulse, casting jagged light across Keisha Brown's face as she stood in the lobby, the contract still heavy in her hands. A week had passed since Ethan Caldwell's bombshell, and the weight of owning a hotel, an entire world, pressed against her chest. At 28, Keisha was no stranger to hard work, but this was a leap into the unknown, a tightrope over Miami's glittering abyss. Her mama's words, "Hold your head high," steadied her, but doubt gnawed at the edges. Could she really do this? Jaden Spark, ever the optimist, had no such hesitations. "Kay, this is our shot," he said, pacing the lobby, his phone capturing every angle of the chipped chandeliers and faded velvet curtains. "We turn this place into a vibe, art, music, community. Neon Wave's gonna shine again." His 2 million TikTok followers were already buzzing, hyping hashtag Save Neon Wave. Keisha forced a smile, but her eyes lingered on the neon sign, its hum a quiet warning. Something was coming. She could feel it, like the air before a storm. The first crack came Monday morning. Keisha found a letter slipped under the hotel's front door, typed and unsigned. "Sell Neon Wave, or you'll regret it." Her stomach twisted. She showed it to Jaden, who scoffed. Probably some developer flexing. Miami's full of them. But Keisha wasn't so sure. The letter's tone echoed that rasping voice from the night she'd saved Ethan. "You're in over your head, girl." She tucked it into her apron, refusing to let fear take root. Then the rumors started. Whispers on X and Instagram claimed Neon Wave was a money pit, its pipes leaking, its wiring shot. Guests canceled bookings, and suppliers demanded upfront payments. Keisha spent hours poring over the hotel's books, her head throbbing. The numbers didn't lie. Neon Wave was bleeding cash, and someone was tightening the noose. She confronted the staff, a mix of old-timers and new faces, their eyes wary. "Anyone know who's spreading this?" she asked. Silence answered, but a cook named Marla, gray hair tucked under a net, leaned close. "Watch your back, child. Money makes monsters." Keisha's resolve hardened. She wasn't about to let Neon Wave crumble, not when it was her chance to build something for Overtown, for her mama, for herself. Jaden had an idea, a free EDM festival in the hotel's courtyard, a bold move to show Miami what Neon Wave could be. "We get artists, food trucks, and a mural," he said, eyes blazing. "Call it Neon Never Fades. Bet it goes viral." Keisha hesitated. Events cost money they didn't have, but Jaden's passion was infectious. "All right, Spark," she said, "let's do this." The festival took shape fast. Jaden rallied his TikTok crew, pulling in DJs and street artists from across Miami.
Keisha reached out to Black-owned businesses, securing food trucks and vendors. They commissioned a local painter, Tasha, to create a mural on the courtyard wall, a vibrant blaze of neon colors, faces of dreamers and fighters, with the words "Neon never fades" in bold. The night of the event, thousands poured in, their energy electric under the stars. EDM beats pulsed, lights danced, and #SaveNeonWave trended nationwide, racking up millions of views. Keisha stood by the mural, her heart swelling. For the first time, Neon Wave felt like hers. But across town, in Zest Corp's glass tower, Serena Voss watched the festival stream on her tablet, her manicured nails digging into the armrest. "Clever girl," she murmured, her voice laced with venom. Serena had history with Ethan, dark, tangled history, and Neon Wave was her prize, a key to her AI empire. Keisha's little stunt was a wrinkle, nothing more. Serena dialed a number. "Time to turn up the heat," she said. "Make sure she knows who's in charge." Back at the festival, Keisha laughed with Jaden, the crowd's cheers drowning out her doubts. Then her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Nice party. Shame if it's your last." Her smile froze. She scanned the crowd, the neon lights casting long shadows. Somewhere in the sea of faces, trouble was watching. Who was pulling the strings, and why did it feel like the past was closing in? The neon blaze of the mural "Neon Never Fades" burned against Miami's night, a defiant cry over the festival's fading pulse. Keisha Brown stood rooted, her phone searing with the anonymous text, "Nice party. Shame if it's your last." The crowd's cheers lingered, but fear coiled in her chest, sharp claws tearing at her ribs. At 28, she knew Miami's streets played dirty, but this was a personal vendetta, a blade honed for her. She swept the crowd with wary eyes, their laughter now laced with shadows under the neon's flicker. Jaden Spark Lopez twirled nearby, filming TikTok clips with fans swarming. "Kay, we're blowing up," he hollered, phone flashing. #SaveNeonWave had surged past 10 million views, the mural a viral sensation on X and Instagram. Keisha managed a nod, pocketing her phone in her apron. She wouldn't dampen Jaden's fire, not yet. But as she wove through the throng, each glance felt like a verdict, each whisper a noose. The hotel's neon sign hummed above, its rhythm matching her racing pulse. The neon lights of Neon Wave pulsed like a heartbeat, casting fractured beams across Keisha Brown's face as she stood frozen in the live stream's aftermath. The comment, "Ask Ethan about Ghost, he broke your mama," burned into her mind, a jagged wound reopening. Her hands shook, the lobby's chatter fading into a dull roar. At 28, Keisha had carried her mama's pain like a second skin, but this? This tied Ethan Coldwell, the man who'd handed her Neon Wave, to the data breach that shattered Loretta's life. The air felt thick, the neon hum a taunt in her ears. Keisha slipped away from the crowd, her sneakers silent on the lobby's worn tiles. Jaden Spark Lopez was still hyping the live stream, his phone glowing with #SaveNeonWave comments. "Kay, we're killing it," he called, oblivious to her storm. She couldn't face him, not yet. She needed answers. The contract from Ethan lay heavy in her pocket, its promise now laced with betrayal. Her mama's words, "Hold your head high," clashed with the comment's venom. Was Ethan a savior or a snake? In the hotel's dim office, Keisha fired up an old laptop, its fan wheezing like it felt her dread. She searched Ghost and Data Breach, her fingers trembling. Articles flooded the screen. 10 years ago, a hacker named Ghost leaked corporate data, exposing thousands, including Loretta, a hospital clerk who lost her job when patient records spilled.
The fallout left her broken, her pride stolen. Keisha's throat tightened, tears pricking. Ethan's face from that stormy night, pale, sharp, flashed in her mind. Could he be Ghost? She dug deeper, finding crumbs of Ethan's past, a tech prodigy turned billionaire, whispers of a shady history, ties to a woman named Serena Voss. Serena. The name hit like a punch. Keisha remembered the festival's text, the deepfake sting. Was Serena behind this? And was Ethan her accomplice? Or her pawn? Keisha's heart pounded, the neon outside flickering like a warning. She needed to know the truth, even if it burned. That night, she climbed to Neon Wave's rooftop, the Miami skyline a glittering cage. Ethan was there, as if summoned, his gray eyes catching the city's glow. "You've done good," Keisha said, voice low. "This place is alive again." She didn't smile. Her voice was steel. "Are you Ghost?" Ethan's face froze, the air between them electric. He exhaled, slow. "I was, a lifetime ago. I didn't mean for people like your mama to get hurt." Keisha's fists clenched, rage and pain colliding. "You broke her," she spat. "That leak took everything, her job, her spirit, and you hand me this hotel like it fixes that?" Ethan's gaze dropped, guilt carving lines into his face. "I was young, reckless. Serena and we pushed too far. I've spent years trying to make it right. Giving you Neon Wave was my start." Serena, the name again. Ethan explained. Serena Voss, his old partner, had turned on him after the leak, blaming him for their fall. Now she wanted Neon Wave to erase their past, to build her AI empire over its bones. Keisha's mind spun. The deepfakes, the threats, it was Serena. But Ethan's hands weren't clean. "Why me?" she demanded. Ethan met her eyes. "Because you're what I wasn't. Good." Keisha turned away, the neon mural below blazing neon never fades. Her mama's pain, her own fight, Ethan's guilt, it all tangled like wires. Forgive him? Trust him? Or walk away? She thought of Loretta, broken but unbound, and her resolve hardened. Neon Wave was her fight, for her mama, for Overtown, for truth. She'd face Serena, Ethan, and whatever ghosts lingered. In Zestcorp's tower, Serena watched a new deepfake render, her lips curling. Keisha was a spark, but sparks could be snuffed. She'd bury Neon Wave yet. Keisha stood on the rooftop, the city's neon glow wrapping her like armor. The mural's light burned below, a fire she'd carry into battle, no matter the cost. The neon mural, Neon Never Fades, glowed like a war cry against Miami's restless sky, its colors searing into Keisha Brown's resolve as she descended from Neon Wave's rooftop. Ethan's confession, "I was Ghost," churned in her gut, a betrayal laced with guilt. At 28, Keisha had fought too hard to let Serena Voss or Ethan's past snuff her fire. Neon Wave was her stand, for her mama Loretta, for Overtown, for truth. But Serena's deepfakes were tightening the noose, and Keisha needed proof to break it. The neon sign hummed below, its pulse urging her forward. Jaden Spark Lopez was in the lobby, his phone buzzing with hashtag Save Neon Wave hype. "Kay, we're still trending," he grinned, but his eyes caught her steel gaze. "What's up, sis?" Keisha pulled him aside, her voice low. "Serena's behind the deepfakes. Ethan's tied to her. Old hacker stuff. We need evidence, Spark." Jaden's grin vanished, replaced by a glint of defiance. "Bet, I know a guy who knows a guy. Zestcorp's got servers downtown. We hit 'em, we find dirt." Keisha's heart raced. Breaking in? Insane. But losing Neon Wave was worse. "Let's move," she said. The plan was reckless. Sneak into Zest Corp's tower under cover of a storm rolling in, hack their servers, and grab proof of Serena's AI manipulation. Jaden's contact, a coder named Rico, gave them a USB drive with backdoor code and a warning. Serena's got eyes everywhere. Keisha tucked the drive into her pocket, the weight of it like a grenade. As thunder rumbled, she and Jaden slipped into hoodies, blending into Miami's rain-slicked streets. The tower loomed ahead, its glass facade a cold, unblinking eye. Inside, the lobby was sterile, all chrome and white light. Keisha's sneakers squeaked, her pulse hammering as they flashed fake maintenance IDs. Jaden's TikTok hustle had taught him forgery. A guard barely glanced, waving him to the service elevator. "Floor 22, server room," Rico had said. The elevator hummed, its mirrored walls reflecting Keisha's clenched jaw. Jaden nudged her. "We got this, Kay, like Bonnie and Clyde, but for justice." She forced a smirk, but her mama's voice echoed, "Hold your head high." The server room was a maze of blinking lights and icy air. Jaden plugged in the USB, his fingers flying over a keyboard. "Almost in," he whispered, sweat beading. Keisha stood guard, her eyes darting to the door. Files flashed, AI logs, deepfake scripts, proof Serena was rigging public opinion against Neon Wave. Her breath hitched. This was it. But then a red light strobed, alarms shrieking. "We're made," Jaden hissed, yanking the drive. Footsteps thundered outside. Keisha's heart slammed against her ribs. The door flew open, and Serena Voss stood there, her tailored suit sharp as her glare. "You are out of your depth, Keisha," she said, voice like venom. Guards flanked her, their hands on holsters. Keisha stepped forward, chin high. "I don't need to swim your waters, Serena. I just need the truth." Serena's lips curled. "Truth? You're a speck in my world. Neon Wave's mine."
Jaden clutched the drive, his eyes locked on Keisha. She nodded, subtle. He bolted, dodging a guard, while Keisha lunged at another, her fist swinging from Overtown's scrappy days. Chaos erupted, grunts, crashes, the drive skittering across the floor. Keisha scrambled for it, her fingers closing around it as a guard pinned her. Serena loomed, her voice cold. "You'll regret this." Thunder cracked outside, shaking the tower. Keisha and Jaden fought free, sprinting for the stairwell, the drive burning in her hand. Rain lashed them as they burst onto the street, alarms fading behind. They collapsed in an alley, gasping, the USB safe. Keisha's eyes met Jaden's, a shared fire blazing. They had proof, Serena's lies exposed. But Serena's words echoed, a storm louder than the one above. In Zest Corp's tower, Serena stared at the rain-streaked window, her nails digging into her palms. Keisha was a problem, but problems could be crushed. Keisha clutched the drive, neon lights painting her face in defiant hues. The mural's glow flickered in the distance, a beacon calling her to the final fight, its fire unyielding. The neon glow of Miami's skyline flickered like a distant battle, its light glinting off the USB drive in Keisha Brown's hand as she and Jaden Spark Lopez stumbled back to Neon Wave, rain-soaked and breathless. The proof of Serena Voss's deepfake schemes burned in that drive, a weapon to save their hotel, their truth. At 28, Keisha had faced down Overtown struggles, but this fight felt like her soul on the line. The mural's neon never fades blazed in the courtyard, its colors a call to war. Keisha's heart pounded, her mama's words steadying her, "Hold your head high." In the hotel's lobby, the air buzzed with urgency. Jaden, still panting, plugged the USB into a laptop, his fingers trembling as files loaded. AI logs, video scripts, emails tying Serena to the smear campaign. "This is gold, Kay," he said, eyes wide. "We go live, expose her, and Neon Wave's back." Keisha nodded, her jaw tight.
A second live stream, raw and unfiltered, was their shot to flip the narrative. But Serena's threat, "You'll regret this," echoed, a shadow creeping closer. The live stream launched at midnight, Neon Wave's lobby packed tighter than the EDM festival. Overtown locals, artists, and supporters spilled into the courtyard, the mural's neon glow framing them. Jaden's camera rolled, #SaveNeonWave trending before Keisha spoke. "Miami, I'm Keisha Brown," she began, voice steady despite her racing pulse. "They tried to bury us with lies, deepfakes, bots, hate, but we got proof." She held up the USB, its weight a promise. Zest Corp's been playing dirty, and we're calling them out. Jaden streamed the files, showing Serena's AI logs and scripts. The chat erupted. Shock, anger, support. Millions watched as Keisha told her story. Her mama's ruin, Ethan's past as ghost, her fight for Neon Wave. "This ain't just a hotel," she said, eyes fierce. "It's our home, our heart, Overtown's heart." Tasha, the murals artist, joined in, her voice sharp. "They want to erase us, but we don't fade." The crowd roared, #NeonNeverFades spiking globally. Then Ethan Caldwell stepped forward, unannounced, his gray eyes heavy with guilt. The lobby hushed. "I'm Ethan," he said, voice raw. "I was Ghost. I hurt people, like Keisha's mama, Loretta. I can't undo that, but I can fight now." He faced the camera. "Serena's using AI to control narratives, to crush places like this. I'm done hiding." He pulled a second USB from his jacket, handing it to Keisha. "More evidence. Use it." Keisha's hand shook, torn between rage and hope. Ethan's confession was a blade, cutting open old wounds, but his offer was a shield. She nodded, and Jaden uploaded the new files. Zest Corp's plans to gut Neon Wave for an AI hub. Emails proving Serena's vendetta. The internet exploded, X and TikTok ablaze with outrage. #ZestCorpExposed trended alongside #SaveNeonWave. But Serena wasn't done. Across town, in Zest Corp's tower, she watched the live stream, her face a mask of fury. Her second deepfake was live, a video framing Keisha as a thief, now spreading faster than the first. "You think you've won," she hissed, dialing her team. "Flood the platforms, bury her." Bots swarmed, drowning Keisha's truth in noise. Back at Neon Wave, the live stream hit a snag. Platforms throttled their reach, comments turning toxic. Keisha's stomach sank, but the crowd's chants kept her grounded. Jaden, frantic, worked to boost the signal, calling in every influencer he knew. Then Marla, the cook, took the mic, her voice a quiet storm. "I've seen this city try to break us for 60 years. We don't bend." Her words lit a fire, the crowd's energy surging. Keisha stepped up again, her voice a blade through the chaos. "They can throw lies, but we got truth. Neon Wave's ours, and we're not giving it up." The mural's light flared behind her, a beacon against the digital storm. Supporters flooded the streets outside, their phones live streaming, breaking through the throttle. The world was watching, and Serena's grip was slipping. In Zest Corp's tower, Serena slammed her tablet, cracks spiderwebbing the screen. Keisha's fire was spreading, and her empire was crumbling. Keisha stood tall, the USB drives heavy in her hands, the neon murals glow, painting her like a warrior. The fight wasn't over, but the light of Neon Wave burned brighter, a flame no lie could extinguish. The neon mural, Neon Never Fades, blazed against the Miami dawn, its defiant colors mirroring the fire in Keisha Brown's eyes as she stood in Neon Wave's lobby, the USB drives still warm in her hands. The live stream's echo lingered. #SaveNeonWave and #ZestCorpExposed trending worldwide, their truth cutting through Serena Voss's lies. At 28, Keisha had turned a hotel, a dream, into a battlefield for Overtown, for her mama, Loretta, for justice. The crowd's chants outside pulsed like a heartbeat, their phones live-streaming her victory. But Serena's final deepfake loomed, a shadow threatening to dim her light. Keisha faced the camera one last time, her voice a steady flame. "Miami, we showed the world who we are," she said, holding up the USBs. "Zest Corp tried to bury us, but we rose." Jaden Spark, sweat slick from boosting the signal, grinned beside her. "We got the truth, Kay," he said, uploading Ethan's files. Zest Corp's AI hub plants, Serena's vendetta emails. The internet roared, platforms unable to throttle the flood of support. X posts and TikTok clips surged, millions sharing #NeonNeverFades. Across town, Serena Voss's tower felt like a tomb. Her second deepfake, Keisha as a thief, crumbled under scrutiny, debunked by Jaden's coder friend Rico, who traced its bot swarm to Zest Corp's servers. News outlets picked up the story, exposing Serena's manipulation. Her stock plummeted, investors fled, and regulators swarmed. Serena stood at her cracked window, her empire fracturing, her cold smirk gone. "You're nothing," she told Keisha. Now the words mocked her reflection. Back at Neon Wave, Ethan Caldwell approached Keisha, his gray eyes softer. "I'm stepping away," he said. "This place is yours, clean. I'll testify against Serena." Keisha's chest tightened, Loretta's pain still raw, but his choice felt like amends. She nodded, no words needed. Ethan left, his silhouette fading into the dawn. The lobby buzzed with new life. Tasha, the mural's artist, rallied artists to repaint Neon Wave's faded walls. Marla organized food drives, turning the kitchen into a community hub. Jaden planned a weekly open mic, poets and rappers already signing up. Keisha walked the courtyard, the mural's glow washing over her. She saw her mama's face in its colors, unbowed, unbroken. "I did it, Mama," she whispered, tears falling. The neon sign of Neon Wave hummed soft and steady, its glow washing over the courtyard where Keisha Brown stood, a cup of her mama's favorite coffee warming her hands. Months had passed since the live stream that shattered Serena Voss's lies, since #SaveNeonWave became a global cry. At 28, Keisha had turned a fading hotel into a beacon for Overtown, for dreamers, for those the city tried to erase. The mural Neon Never Fades loomed behind her, its colors alive with faces of fighters, her mama, Loretta, among them. Keisha's heart swelled, a quiet triumph pulsing through her veins. The courtyard buzzed with life. Kids from Overtown laughed, chasing each other past Tasha's new murals, their vibrant strokes telling stories of resilience. Marla's food truck, parked nearby, served hot plates to locals, her warm smile a cornerstone of the community hub Neon Wave had become. Jaden Spark Lopez, now 23, darted through, filming a TikTok for his 3 million followers, hyping the hotel's weekly open mic. "Yo, Neon Wave's the heart of Miami," he shouted, winking at Keisha. She laughed, her spirit lighter than it had been in years. Neon Wave was no longer just a hotel. Its rooms housed artists and families, its lobby a stage for poets, rappers, and dreamers. Keisha's coffee shop, Loretta's Brew, thrived in the corner, its walls lined with photos of Overtown's past and present, her mama's face beaming in a frame. Every pour of coffee carried Loretta's strength. Her words, "Hold your head high," etched above the counter. Locals filled the tables, their voices weaving a tapestry of hope. Keisha hired dozens from Overtown, giving jobs to those overlooked, their pride rebuilding the city's soul. The fight hadn't been easy. Serena's downfall left ripples, lawsuits, headlines, Zest Corp's collapse. But Keisha's truth stood firm. Serena faced prison, her name a cautionary tale. Ethan Caldwell, true to his word, testified, his past as ghost laid bare. He'd vanished since, leaving Keisha a letter, "You're the future. Keep shining." She kept it in her desk, a reminder of redemption's weight. The deepfake scars lingered, some still whispered doubts, but Neon Wave's light drowned them out. Social media carried the legacy. #NeonNeverFades murals bloomed across Miami, then beyond, New York, LA, Lagos. TikTok challenges inspired by Jaden had youth painting their own never fade art, sharing stories of defiance. Keisha's inbox overflowed with messages. A teen in Chicago starting a poetry slam, a mother in Atlanta opening a bakery, all citing Neon Wave's fire. She read them late at night, tears falling, her mama's spirit close. One evening, Keisha hosted an open mic, the courtyard packed under a starlit sky. A young poet, barely 16, took the stage, her voice fierce. "They tried to dim us, but we glow." The crowd roared, phones capturing the moment. #SaveNeonWave still alive. Keisha watched, her coffee cup warm, her eyes tracing the mural's faces. She saw her younger self, scared, scrappy, unbroken. She saw Loretta, her pride eternal. Miami's neon skyline stretched beyond, its pulse syncing with hers. Keisha stood taller, the courtyard's light wrapping her like a promise. Neon Wave wasn't just a place. It was a movement, a fire that would burn through generations, a glow no darkness could touch.